the Fluent Zone podcast. Real English. Real confidence.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fluent Zone, the podcast where we don't just teach you English, we help you actually use it out loud in real life.
No boring grammar drills here. Just real talk, real strategies, and real progress. I'm Leo.
And I'm Jessie.
So Jessie, how are you feeling today?
Honestly, a little nervous.
Nervous? Why?
Because today's topic hits close to home for me. We're talking about speaking English with confidence.
Ah, and you remember exactly how that used to feel.
I do. I studied grammar for years. I could read novels. I could write long essays. But the second someone asked me a real question in English, my mind just went blank.
I think almost every single person listening right now knows that exact feeling.
That heart racing, hand shaking, please don't talk to me feeling.
Yes, exactly that one.
So today, we're breaking down why that happens and, more importantly, exactly how to fix it step by step.
By the end of this episode, you'll have real tools, not just motivation. Practical steps you can use starting today, even in the next 5 minutes.
And before we start, one small favor.
If this episode helps you, hit like, subscribe, and send it to a friend who's scared to speak English.
Especially that friend who keeps saying, my English isn't good enough yet.
Because after today, that excuse won't hold up anymore.
All right, let's get into it. Okay, let's start simple. Leo, what does confidence in speaking actually mean?
Good question. Most people think confidence means speaking perfectly. 0 mistakes, flawless grammar, a perfect accent.
That's exactly what I used to believe.
But that's not confidence. That's perfectionism, and honestly, it's the enemy of confidence.
So what's the real definition then?
Real confidence is being willing to speak, even knowing you might make a mistake.
It's not about being perfect. It's about being brave.
Exactly. Confidence is a decision to open your mouth before you feel ready.
I like that. Confidence isn't a feeling you wait for.
No, it's an action you take first. The feeling shows up later, after you've already done it a few times.
So you don't need to become confident before speaking.
You become confident by speaking. Confidence is built through action, not before it.
That one sentence alone could change how someone thinks about their whole learning journey.
It's true. I've seen learners with excellent grammar who stay completely silent, and learners with simple grammar who speak fearlessly and connect with everyone around them.
And who do people actually enjoy talking to?
The fearless one, every single time. Nobody remembers your grammar. They remember how the conversation felt.
Let's talk about why we freeze in the first place. Because honestly, it's not really about English at all.
No, it's about fear. Specifically, fear of judgment.
Fear that people will think, wow, their English isn't very good.
Or fear of sounding stupid, or being laughed at, or standing out in a bad way.
I remember one moment clearly. I mispronounced a word in front of a group, and someone smiled.
Oh no.
It probably wasn't even a mean smile, just surprise. But in my head, it became this huge, humiliating moment that replayed for days.
And after that?
After that, I stayed quiet in meetings for months. I would know the answer, but I wouldn't say it just in case I made another mistake.
That's such a common story. One small moment, and the brain decides, silence is safer.
Exactly. Our brain is trying to protect us from embarrassment, but in doing that, it blocks our growth completely.
Here's something worth knowing. Your brain treats social embarrassment almost like physical danger. It triggers the same fear response, the same racing heart, the same urge to run away.
So when your heart starts pounding before speaking English, that's not proof you're bad at English.
That's just an old alarm system going off, reacting to a danger that isn't actually real in that moment.
Once I understood that, it changed everything. The fear isn't evidence I'm not ready. It's just noise.
Exactly. And once you know it's just noise, you can learn to work around it instead of obeying it.
There's also something called the spotlight effect, right?
Yes, tell everyone about that.
It's this idea that we believe people are watching and judging us far more than they actually are.
In reality, most people are far too busy thinking about themselves to closely judge your accent.
Exactly. That person who might have smiled at your mistake probably forgot about it 5 minutes later.
But you remembered it for months.
Right, because our own inner spotlight is much brighter than the real one.
Jessie, tell everyone your story. How did you go from silent to confident?
Okay, this was about 4 years ago. I had an English interview for a job I really wanted.
High pressure.
Extremely high pressure. I prepared for weeks. I memorized answers, practiced grammar, everything I could think of.
And how did it go?
The interviewer asked a simple question, "Tell me about yourself," and my mind just went completely blank.
Even after all that preparation?
Even after all that preparation, because I was so focused on sounding perfect that the pressure crushed me instantly.
What happened next?
I didn't get the job, and honestly, I felt terrible for weeks afterward, replaying it over and over.
I'm sorry, that's rough.
But that failure changed something inside me. I realized memorizing perfect sentences was never the answer.
So what did you do differently after that?
I stopped trying to sound perfect, and I started trying to just communicate, even with simple words, even with mistakes.
How did that feel at first?
Terrifying, my hands still shook. But slowly, something shifted. People understood me. Nobody cared about my small grammar mistakes.
They cared about the message, not the perfection.
Exactly. And the more I spoke imperfectly but bravely, the more natural speaking became.
So the turning point wasn't more grammar study.
No, the turning point was giving myself permission to be imperfect, out loud, in front of people.
That's such a powerful lesson. Let's turn this into practical tools for everyone listening.
Yes, let's get into it.
Tip number 1, lower the bar on purpose.
This means stop aiming for perfect English and aim for clear English instead.
Think of speaking like throwing a ball to a friend. You just need them to catch it.
You don't need to throw it in a beautiful, perfect curve.
Exactly. If your friend catches the ball, the throw worked, even if it wasn't elegant.
Communication works the same way. If the other person understands you, your English worked.
I have a personal example. Early on, I used to rehearse full sentences in my head before speaking.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. By the time I finished preparing the perfect sentence, the conversation had already moved on without me.
So what changed?
I gave myself one new rule. Say the simple version immediately, instead of waiting for the perfect version.
So instead of building the perfect grammar structure in your head,
I'd just say something like, I think, maybe this is better, even if it wasn't grammatically perfect.
and people understood you.
Every single time. Nobody ever said, sorry, I don't understand your simple sentence.
So the tip is, aim for understood, not perfect.
Exactly. Lower the bar, and you'll be amazed how much easier speaking becomes.
I'd add one thing here. Write down your top 3 perfectionist thoughts, the ones that stop you before speaking.
Like, my grammar has to be correct, or I need the right word first. Exactly. Then next to each one, write a lower bar version. Something like, understood is enough.
Having that written down makes it easier to remember in the moment. Tip number 2, practice out loud, alone first.
This is so important, and so many learners skip this step completely.
Think of it like an athlete. Athletes don't just imagine playing the game in their head.
They train alone, repeating the same movement over and over until it becomes automatic.
Speaking is a physical skill too. Your mouth muscles need training, just like an athlete's legs.
If you only think in English, but never speak it out loud, your mouth simply isn't trained for the real moment.
Here's a small habit that helped me a lot. Every morning, I talk to myself in English for 5 minutes, describing my day.
Out loud, even alone in your room.
Yes, out loud, alone in my room. It felt silly at first, honestly.
I can imagine.
But after a few weeks, something changed. Sentences started flowing more smoothly without stopping to translate first.
Because your mouth had already practiced those exact movements before.
Exactly. So my second tip, talk to yourself out loud every single day, even for just 5 minutes.
In the shower, while cooking, while walking, it doesn't matter where.
The goal is training your mouth and mind to work together before the real conversation ever happens.
One more idea here. Try narrating simple actions as you do them. Now I'm making coffee. Now I'm adding sugar.
That's such a simple habit, but it builds real fluency over time, almost without effort.
Tip number 3. Use the 3-second rule.
Okay, explain this one.
When someone asks you a question, you have about 3 seconds to start speaking before your brain talks you out of it.
So the danger zone is waiting too long.
Exactly. The longer you wait, searching for the perfect answer, the more nervous you become.
It's like standing at the edge of a cold swimming pool.
The longer you stand there thinking about how cold it will be.
The harder it becomes to actually jump in.
But if you jump immediately, the shock passes quickly, and you start swimming right away.
So the 3-second rule means start speaking almost immediately, even with an imperfect first word.
Something like, well, or actually, I think. Just get your mouth moving.
Once you start, the rest usually follows naturally, almost on its own.
It's momentum. Starting is the hardest part, and this rule attacks exactly that moment.
I use this constantly now. 3 seconds, then speak, no matter what, no exceptions.
And if the sentence comes out messy?
That's fine. A messy sentence spoken is always more useful than a perfect sentence left unsaid. Tip number 4, build a toolbox of confidence phrases.
These are simple, flexible phrases you can use in almost any conversation.
Like little tools ready in a toolbox, whenever you need them.
For example, phrases like, that's a good question, or let me think about that for a second.
Or, I'm not sure how to say this perfectly, but here's what I mean.
These phrases buy you time, and they sound completely natural. Even native speakers use them constantly.
I used to be terrified of silence during a conversation, like silence meant failure.
But a short pause with a natural phrase actually sounds confident, not weak at all.
Exactly. Confidence phrases fill that space smoothly, while your brain finds the next words.
Try collecting 5 or 6 of these phrases, and practice them until they feel automatic, almost like reflexes.
Then, when nervousness hits, you already have something ready to reach for.
It removes that blank, frozen moment, and replaces it with a smooth, natural pause instead.
Here are a few more to add to your toolbox. Could you repeat that, please? What I mean is ... double quotes and in other words ...
These phrases work in almost any situation, from a casual chat to a formal meeting. Tip number 5, reframe mistakes as data, not failure.
This tip changed everything for me mentally.
Explain what you mean by data.
When you make a mistake, instead of thinking I failed, think, okay, now I have information.
Like a scientist running an experiment.
Exactly. A scientist doesn't cry when an experiment doesn't go perfectly.
They think, interesting, now I know what doesn't work, let me adjust and try again.
Every mistake in speaking gives you the exact same gift, useful information about what to fix next time.
So instead of feeling shame after a mistake,
you feel curiosity. Oh, I used the wrong tense there. Good to know for next time.
this reframing removes all the emotional weight from mistakes.
And without that heavy emotional weight, speaking becomes so much lighter and easier.
Because you're not protecting yourself from failure anymore.
You're just collecting information, one sentence at a time.
I actually keep a small notebook of mistakes I've made, almost like a collection.
That's such a healthy way to see it, a collection, not a list of shame.
Exactly. Each entry means I tried, and I learned something real.
Tip number 6. Find low-pressure practice spaces.
This means practicing in situations where mistakes genuinely don't matter.
Like talking to a language exchange partner, or even talking to yourself, a pet, or a mirror.
I know someone who practiced English conversations with their dog every single evening.
Did the dog respond?
Not really, but that wasn't really the point. The point was speaking out loud, without judgment, in a completely safe space.
Low-pressure practice builds a foundation of comfort before you ever face a high-pressure situation.
It's like practicing to swim in a shallow pool before jumping into the ocean.
You build comfort and skill first, somewhere safe.
Then when the real, high-pressure conversation happens, your body already remembers the feeling of speaking.
It's not the first time anymore. It's just another repetition.
Tip number 7. Record yourself and listen back.
Okay, this one feels uncomfortable for a lot of people.
It really does. Most learners hate hearing their own recorded voice.
I remember the first time I recorded myself speaking English. I almost deleted it immediately.
What made you keep listening?
Curiosity, mostly, and I noticed something surprising. I sounded better than I imagined in my head.
That happens to almost everyone. Our inner critic exaggerates our mistakes.
Recording gives you actual evidence instead of just anxious imagination.
Try this once a week. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute about anything, your day.
Then listen back, not to judge yourself harshly, but simply to notice one thing you did well.
And one small thing you could adjust next time.
Over weeks, you'll actually hear your own progress, which builds real, evidence-based confidence.
Now let's bust 2 big myths about confidence.
Myth number 1 first.
The myth that confident speakers never feel nervous.
Oh, that's such a widely held belief.
In reality, most confident speakers still feel nervous. They've just learned to speak anyway, despite that nervousness.
So confidence isn't the absence of fear.
It's action taken alongside fear, not after fear disappears completely.
That's such a relieving thought. You don't need to wait to stop feeling nervous.
No, you just need to speak while feeling nervous, again and again, until it becomes familiar territory.
Okay, what's myth number 2?
The myth that you need to master grammar before you're allowed to speak confidently.
I believed this one for years.
So many learners delay speaking, telling themselves, once my grammar is better, then I'll speak.
But that day almost never comes because grammar mastery takes years, sometimes a lifetime.
Meanwhile, confidence actually improves grammar, not the other way around.
How does that work exactly? When you speak often, you notice your own mistakes in real conversations, which teaches grammar naturally through actual use.
So waiting for perfect grammar to feel confident is backwards. Completely backwards. Speak first, imperfectly, and grammar improves as a natural side effect.
Actually, we got a great question from a listener before this episode.
Let's hear it.
They asked, what if I speak and people still don't understand me at all?
That's a fair concern.
Here's the truth. That will happen sometimes, and it's completely okay.
When it does, you have simple options. You can rephrase using different words.
You can use your hands, point at something, describe it a different way.
You can even say, sorry, let me say that differently, and try again immediately.
Not being understood once isn't a disaster. It's just one attempt that needs a second attempt.
Communication is rarely perfect on the first try, even between 2 native speakers.
So give yourself permission to simply try again, right there in the moment.
We also got a second question. Someone asked, how do I stop worrying about my accent?
Such an important question. Here's my honest answer. Your accent is part of your identity, not a flaw to erase.
Millions of confident, Successful English speakers around the world have accents.
An accent doesn't block communication, and clear pronunciation of specific sounds sometimes does, and that's learnable over time.
But a full accent, the melody of your first language inside English, that's not something to be ashamed of.
Focus on being understood clearly, not on sounding like someone else entirely.
Okay, let's give everyone something concrete to actually do this week.
Yes, a simple 7-day challenge.
Day 1. Talk to yourself out loud in English for 5 minutes.
Day 2. Use one new confidence phrase in a real conversation.
Day 3. Apply the 3-second rule at least 3 times.
Day 4. Make a mistake on purpose, just to prove to yourself it isn't dangerous.
That one sounds fun.
Day 5. Have a full conversation, even a short one, without preparing sentences in advance.
Day 6. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute and listen back once.
And Day 7. Reflect. Write down one moment where you felt braver than the week before.
Small steps, repeated daily, build real confidence over time.
This isn't about becoming perfect in 7 days.
It's about proving to yourself that you can speak, even while feeling unsure.
Let's recap everything from today.
Tip 1. Lower the bar on purpose. Aim for understood, not perfect.
Tip 2. Practice out loud, alone first, to train your mouth.
Tip 3. Use the 3-second rule. Start speaking almost immediately.
Tip 4. Build a toolbox of confidence phrases for nervous moments.
Tip 5. Reframe mistakes as data, not failure.
Tip 6. Find low-pressure practice spaces to build comfort first.
And Tip 7. Record yourself and listen back for real, honest progress.
Confidence isn't a feeling you wait for.
It's a decision you make again and again, especially when it feels uncomfortable.
And every single time you speak despite fear, you become a little more the confident speaker you actually want to be.
All right, that's a wrap for today's episode.
Thank you so much for listening and growing with us.
If this episode helped you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs the courage to speak.
And remember, you don't need perfect English to be confident. You just need to speak.
See you in the next episode.
Bye for now.